Ruth Ministry, to start with, is a ministry that was started, it started as a fellowship at All Saints Church in 2001, and it had come up, the founders saw the vulnerability of a widow, and from the Bible, the widow is very precious to the Lord, and he requests the church and puts the church at a role to play in bringing these vulnerable women and caring for them. When you read about Ruth, when you read about Esther, when you read, or as a fellowship where we come together, share the word of the Lord, listen to our challenges, and pray together so that the Lord can intervene in our challenges. But the International Widows' Day is for every widow, and it is globally appreciated that the widow is one of the vulnerable, most vulnerable among the women in the world. And so as widows of the church, last year the Archbishop of the Church of Uganda acknowledged that there is need for to be taken higher, and it was lifted as a ministry. On 23rd June last year, the province of the Church of Uganda launched, and they accepted to call us Ruth Ministry, not to say widows. We know when we say Ruth Ministry, we know we are talking of the widows in the church, and the widows ourselves are the ones reaching out to others, counseling them, because the one who feels it is the one who can talk about it. And so that's how in the picture we are coming in.
Now that well explained, Reverend, when we talk about widows in the church, how have you prepared this special category of people?
Well, allow me to begin by saying that I think for quite a while the church has not been so intentional about caring for this group of people that we are talking about. Much as we've been doing some things for them, you know, it has not been an intentional move to cater for their plight. But as she has explained, as All Saints Church, this ministry began about 25 years ago. It was in 2001, and it has been running on. And the Archbishop, when he appreciated what the ministry was doing, he took it to another level and made it a provincial ministry now. So last year, as Madame Ruth has highlighted, he opened it up to the entire province and encouraged all the churches to embrace. And that is why on a yearly basis we join to commemorate the International Widows' Day. So as a church, we have different programs that cater for the Ruth ministry, the widows within the church. They have their fellowships, and they have outreaches. You know, we do empower them to reach out to the widows in different places, not just within the context of All Saints Cathedral. So they have been empowered to reach out with the gospel, but also to counsel and to restore hope to those who are within that category, not just within All Saints, but they reach out to different parts of the country. So at least as All Saints, we've been in the life of Ruth Ministry, we've supported them. We have seen widows who had lost hope, you know, their hope have been restored, and there is a smile on their face as we talk today. Yeah.
Now coming back to Ruth, 23rd June is not very far from today. Now let's look at how you've planned first as All Saints Church, because I'm lively informed, I think the main celebrations are going to be in Lida.
Yeah.
So, but as All Saints Church, how have you prepared to celebrate this day?
Thank you very much, our moderator, and that's why we are here. All Saints Church, together with the diocese, we are planning for a precursor activities, and that is on 20th, which is coming Saturday, with a conference. And it is to create awareness even amongst our parishioners and the parishes in the diocese, and also to talk about the plight. As what Reverend Walter was talking, we are a big fellowship of ministries where it includes Mothers Union, Christian Women, and a Family Life Ministry. and others are spoken out, and Ruth Ministry has been low, though they have been caring for us. And so we took up this day after last year's launch, that all saints should understand and also come in to know our plight. They didn't even argue, they said this is ours and we should come in, and they have joined us. We are organizing a conference where we are going to have different people to talk. We have our bishop of the diocese with the assistant bishop and all the reverends. We have our dean who is going to give us a devotion and to talk in depth what the Bible talks about the widow, for us to understand why the church comes out to care for the widow. And we'll have a special guest who is Dr. Viola Kayom, and she's a counselor, she's a medical doctor, but she talks in depth of how the impact of what we go through can affect ourselves healthy, spiritually, economically, and also the children and the family members we stay with. Her topic is going to be bringing hope to the hopeless. But also we are anchoring our theme to the national theme and the international theme, and we are getting our theme from James, Isaiah, where it is said that the religion that our God takes, James 1:23, that 27, that the religion that our God takes us, which is faithful and faultless, is that one that cares for the widows and the orphans in their depression or in their challenges. And so we are anchoring in that it's not a crime to be a widow. We don't call for it. You don't wake up and call for it. And you don't need to put it on your face that I'm a widow. No. But you need, the Lord tells the people that if you are in a religion, and religions are so many, but what is your impact on this widow and the orphan? Others have used it to gain money out of it and without attending to their needs. Others have not brought the Lord because it is not caring for the physical, the economic only. But how have you helped this widow, Ruth, to be able to go through this world and putting her life to the Lord so that the Lord can guide her? Because the Lord is the father of the fatherless. The Lord is the husband, and He promised us that He will defend us, He will protect us whenever we cry to Him. But there is no way we can cry for this, there is no way we can claim it if you are not near Him. You cannot be neighbor and you claim it. You have to know the Lord whom you are asking. And how do you ask? So through the church, they are helping us on how to pray, on how to read the Bible, on how to understand what the Bible talks about us, and how you can relate with others. Because being a widow, you are not an isolate. You have to be in the world, you have to work, you have to care for yourself. But in that process, if you meet challenges, whom do you cry to? And so that is the role of the church to us. And that's why we are bringing this convention, the conference, where we will have so many people, we will have testimonies. Last Sunday we led in the church, and it was great. And we thank God for All Saints for giving us this opportunity.
Now, Reverend, talking about Ruth, talking about All Saints, brings me to hear from you more. Where is the conference going to be? How was the church prepared? These are the widows speaking, but you as the body of Christ at All Saints Church, how have you prepared for this Saturday, a great Saturday, I must say?
Permit me to begin by highlighting something about the theme.
Please do.
Now, as a diocese, we are running on James 1:27 that Ruth has hinted on, which is an exhortation to look after the orphans and the widows in their distress. But we have a provincial theme, which is the dignity justice and economic power for widows. So that is the theme for the province, but as a diocese we've chosen to work with James 1:27. Now, coming back to your question about how All Saints Cathedral is prepared for this conference, well, we have been, circulating the information through different platforms, and also it is not basically about parishioners who worship from All Saints Cathedral. We've reached out to the different parishes which are within the Diocese of Kampala, and we have encouraged them to mobilize all the widows to come and be part of this conference on Saturday. The conference is going to run the entire day from 7 in the morning up to around 5 in the evening. And as Ruth mentioned, there are different speakers who have been contacted to come and speak to the hearts of these widows. So we've reached out to widows from different churches who will join the team at All Saints Cathedral, and our lovely bishop, Bishop Balwa, who is the assistant bishop, will be the one hosting the event that day. The cathedral is well prepared. We are going to be in the new sanctuary. I do believe you've been to All Saints and I've seen, so the place is spacious enough. Even if we are to receive about 5,000 of them coming in a single day, we shall be able to accommodate them and also feed them as they come on that day. Yes.
Very interesting. Now I want to put it to Ruth. Has Christ paid it all, or is there something that someone to participate must come or pay?
Yeah, thank you very much. As you know, we are not an island, and All Saints cannot be able to cater for everyone. We've asked a widow who is going to come through their church, through friends who have supported us, that each widow will pay 30,000, which will help for lunch, for water, for break tea, and for every service that you'll get at the church. That is a small part of that will contribute towards the organizing of the conference, and to make sure that it becomes the conference of its kind, the first of its kind, where the diocese and the parish at All Saints have come together to organize for us. I would feel that every widow where they are, they come, they bring themselves, they come to hear the word of the Lord, the blessings that comes with being together, because together we can fight, and together the Lord, because even the Bible says that where 2 or 3 are gathered
in their midst,
the Lord will hear them. And so we are coming together, and we come with different programs. We will have prayer and deliverance, we will have testimonies, and we are going to launch the Ruth Ministry in Kampala Diocese and the committee, the interim committee that will be steering at the diocese as we work and establish in different parishes the Ruth Ministry, as well as kicking off the organizing of the International Day, which will be in Lira, where the Archbishop will be, and it is still, we are having the government, ministers to support us, and even at All Saints we'll have our permanent secretary to come at the office, the permanent secretary of Ministry of Gender, where women fall and widows fall. He will be in our midst, and will also bring out what the role of government in supporting the widows, and that is their role, not us. For us, we are seeing the spiritual, the health, and we'll have a medical camp there to see, because we are seeing the whole sum of a widow. And some children will also be there who will give us testimonies, because in the life of a widow there is an orphan, whether biological or not biological. Thank you.
Well, that is Saturday. To all the widows there, you shouldn't miss what is going to be happening at All Saints Cathedral this very Saturday. And it's all about you coming with 30,000. And all is set to have you, but also to encourage you, to empower you. That is according to my guests, to empower you and ensure that really you sail through life. Now I'll be going for a break. When I return, we want to understand more male participation You could have a sister who is a widow. How should we treat? What does the church say about treating of widows? What does it say about sponsoring? Because this widow could be going through a hard time. And then you watch the show and you're like, International Widows Day. Well, Aunt might think that is not me. But why you should be concerned. When we return from this break, keep it with us on UBC TV.
Amen.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Genshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules. Plant extract, scientific ratio, take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day, don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Genshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product.
It's our mission to secure your money.
Protecting your money is as important as earning it. It is for this reason that the Deposit Protection Fund of Uganda, DPF, was established by the government of Uganda to provide deposit protection to customers of regulated financial institutions. In the unlikely event that your commercial bank, credit institution or microfinance deposit-taking institution fails, the DPF will pay you up to 10 million Uganda shillings. Keep your personal information such as national identification number, mobile phone or an alternative bank account updated with your banker. Terms and conditions apply. For more information, contact DPF at Aha Towers, Plot 7 Lodell Road, Kampala. Call 0312 206 400 or visit our website at www.dpf.or.ug.
We are the DPF. We protect your money. Protection Fund of Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC.
He expected me to die like within the past 2 years.
Out of the womb, the child will get pains, especially in the wrists. And this happens commonly when children are starting to walk.
Was brought to you by
I'll call you every day. Yeah, yo, baby, don't know.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks. Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000. Or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21# and select daily or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Are you looking for a home away from home? Then this is the place for you. My name is Chini Kaji and welcome to Hotel Le Confidential.
With 84 comfortable rooms where you can relax and feel safe. Each room has a lovely view of green vegetation, Wi-Fi, air conditioning, and a tasty breakfast.
Children can have fun at our kids water park and our kids play area. You can also enjoy our world-class health club, spa, sauna, gym, boutique, and sky blue swimming pool.
Thank you for choosing Hotel Le Confidential, where every stay is unforgettable. Come and stay in comfort, right at home, today, tomorrow, and always.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Genshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules. Plant extract, scientific ratio, take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day, don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Ginshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Welcome back from that break. Now, for clarity purposes, before we went for the break, we have 2 events. One is the conference at All Saints Cathedral, Nakasero. And that is the conference where the participants are going to be at the church or the cathedral. And of course, you must come with 30,000 to participate. And that is on the 20th, this Saturday. Please get the dates clearly. 20th, this Saturday, is the Widows Conference or the Ruth Conference at All Saints Cathedral, Nakasero. Now, on the 23rd of June, it is International Widows Day in Rira District. And Reverend will chip into more of that day. But what we were talking about that is going to happen this Saturday, where for you to participate, you're required to have 30,000 shillings to help in preparations, is 20th, this Saturday. Now, Reverend, before we went for the break, I had earlier mentioned that you chip in for the men, their relevancy and why they should be supportive.
Thank you so much. I actually love that concern of how the men engaged in supporting the Ruth ministry. My brother, if you are to consider the plight of the widows, let me maybe begin from God's heart. God's heart for the widows. And I'm just going to highlight one verse from Exodus 22, Exodus chapter 22 and verse 22, which says that we should not take advantage of a widow or an orphan, because if we do that and they cry out to God, God says that He is going to listen, He is going to hear their cry. And many scriptures do tell us that God is a defender of widows. And so, coming from that biblical background, God expects everyone to be concerned about the orphans, about the widows. But many a times, what have we done? Experience has shown us that every time, a man passes on and leaves a widow behind, many a times that widow, people have taken advantage of the resources that the husband has left behind. People do grab them, leaving the widow and the orphans who have remained to suffer. Now, it is very, very important for us as men to take note that if a widow has been left behind, it is our responsibility to make sure that we fill the gap. Men are always the head of the family. They are supposed to protect, they are supposed to provide. And so, even if this person is not your wife, but there is a gap that has been left by the demise of the husband, we are supposed to chip in and make sure that where there is need, we provide. We need also to provide protection. We need to defend them. We need to make sure that justice prevails. We need to make sure that these widows feel valued and respected in the society. But if we take instead advantage of them, it is something which is opposed, it is contrary to the will of God for these widows. So as a church, we are coming out to, to create an awareness and say, look here, we have these people amongst us, and none of them chose, to be widowed. And God expects us to extend a hand to them, by supporting them in the different ways possible, but also making them feel comfortable. The gap that the demise of their spouses left, the church should be able to fill that gap. We as men should chip in and fill that gap. So it is a responsibility to for every man to make sure that any widow who is around you, including the orphans, we have to make them feel loved, cared for, valued, protected, so that they grow to be people whom God requires them to be in this life. Yeah.
Ruth, you wanted to supplement?
Yeah, thank you very much. The Lord created both the man and the woman. And at the time of marriage, you swear to live together till death do you part. And so it is at this time that you still have a role, because we are all in the image of God. And so we pray that even the widowers are taken care of. We know they also remarry, and others may decide not to remarry. But the church comes out for only the women, and sometimes we are more vulnerable. But we feel also that this conference, if you are a widower there, you may pick a leaf from us. You may be comforted from the words that will be talked. And we welcome them to come and attend, and I've invited most of them whom in the ministries that we have at the church, from Fathers Union, from seniors, from the people who are serving at the church. If you are a widow, and even outside, a widower, please, you are invited. Another thing, it comes in that I take for myself, I lost my husband in 2001, and it was the men who would sit to decide what should be my fate. And so if you are the people to decide for our fate, have that human, that this lady was married to our brother. So it is not your wife, but someone you have to cater for as a family member. So with this, it becomes your role as a man in the life of this widow, as a brother, as a brother-in-law, as a father-in-law, as a father, that you make comfortable this widow and bring her to God. Because that is the only way that the widow can be comforted. I've walked the life in this widowhood for almost now 25 years. But if I didn't have the Lord, I think I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be looking the way I'm looking. I would like to thank the people that have been in my life. But I would like our moderator to bring out this one person so that he may never be felt that he made an impact to my life. That's my brother's son, Apollo Mwesige. Where you are, may God bless you. Because he became a father of my children. He became a husband. I would call him even now that I don't have food, and he comes to. So that is the role of a man. Be there. Don't come to look for the things that my husband has left, or to take over and become my husband, unless we have agreed. It doesn't mean that if you are a widow you don't remarry. You can remarry, even the Bible says. But is it out of your conviction that you are going to remarry, or it is by force? So that's the role. The men should be our protector, as the God told us. They protect us, they provide for us, but not on condition that we are exploited, but to help us lead a life of a normal person despite the demise of our husbands.
Well, that helping should be the biblical definition of helping. Now, Reverend, we are in the days of Ebola. How have you as organizers of this great conference factored in that?
Thank you very much. At the cathedral, we are very much aware of what is happening in the country, and we do support every government, programs that have come up to fight Ebola. And so, of course, the most common thing is the washing of hands as you enter the church, which is at every entry point within the cathedral. But also, because we have enough space in the cathedral, people are encouraged to space themselves so that we avoid physical contact so very much, and avoid things like hugging, things like shaking hands. You can wave to your neighbor, you can wave to your friend, but avoid physical contact. So we do emphasize that, but we encourage also use of sanitizers. So people need to carry some of the things as they come along, so that anytime you have contact, you do sanitize. Maybe you've used the same item that another person had used, you have to sanitize. Yes, so I do believe that we are well prepared in that line. Thank you.
You wanted to supplement?
Yeah, we are working together with the church and the diocese. As by yesterday, I had seen all places they had worked on the watering. And even before you come to All Saints, you wash at the points of entering, because we are neighbors of the head of state. And so we are really very alert. But most of all, we have prayed for this conference. And the Lord is with us. And we have got people who have contributed. We still call upon those who can contribute to us, to contribute so that we can be able to care for these widows and ensure that they have their lunch, they have their break tea, they have the water, and they don't lack as they listen to the word of the Lord. You are most welcome, and we are prepared for you. And the Lord is there to protect us, that no Ebola will come there.
Amen.
Yeah.
Now, Reverend, we've talked about Saturday the 20th. That is the Ruth Conference.
Yes.
At All Saints Cathedral. All widows and widowers. And of course, that is the flyer. One-day widows conference. And the great speakers there that are going to be ministering to the widows and the widowers that will make it there. I see the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development there, but also I see great women of God anointed to speak to your heart with this transformation message, to encourage you, to empower you. Now, briefly also, let's talk about leader. Yes, please, Reverend.
Yeah, the International Widows' Day commemoration at the provincial level, which is being spearheaded by His Grace, the Archbishop of the province of the Church of Uganda, is taking place in Lira City. And this is going to be on Tuesday, 23rd. Now, at the provincial level, we have participation from all the dioceses within the province of the Church of Uganda. So there are going to be delegates that will be traveling from all dioceses within the country to Lira City, where they are going to hold the national celebrations. And as I said earlier on, the theme for the province is dignity, justice and economic power for the widows. And so we are encouraging as many widows as possible to go for this conference. It is a life-transforming conference, and His Grace is going to actually going to last year it was launched, but he is going to encourage the different leaders within the different churches to take this up seriously. It is a way of creating an awareness, but also calling upon every church leadership, not only within the Church of Uganda, to take note of the plight of the widows, so that we can have programs that are running countrywide, not only within the Church of Uganda, but in different churches. I want to talk specifically concerning the church's responsibility. So the reason as to why we are gathering there is to call upon all churches to stand up, for the cause of the widows and the orphans, and make sure that we have intentional programs that are aimed at, reaching out to them, ministering to them, so that we can restore dignity where it has been lost, but also making sure that justice, prevails concerning the orphans and the widows. The things that we have been hearing, land being grabbed, properties being taken away, they should come to an end, and it starts with us. And so when we come out and speak about these things, but also educate people and let them know that it is God's desire that the widows need to be catered for, maybe with prayer, people who have been doing things ignorantly can wake up and they, embrace the fight for supporting and defending the widows. Yeah, thank you.
Well, thank you, Reverend. Now, Ruth, as we come to the end of this, you have a minute or two for your parting shot.
Thank you very much. Most diligent want to thank UBC for giving us this opportunity to be here and talk about the widow. And we know that you will continue calling us, because it is not the only time. We pray that the government picks it up also. As you see at the national, in Lira, we have our guest speaker, the guest of honor, who will be Honorable Dr. Ruth Ocheng and others that will be talking on that day. So we also thank the people that have supported us. They know themselves one by one. We thank the church, and we call upon every widow. It is not about shame, it is not about, but we are looking for the Lord. And if we look for Him, He's there, because He told us, knock, you will find. Call, I will hear you. And so this is our chance to call upon Him, to reach us in our time of need, to reach us in our time of depression, to reach us so that we can call upon Him and His hands are open, because He promised that He will fight for us. So every widow outside there, come, let's talk together. Join every church program where there is the widows program. You can join any fellowship, but when you join the fellowship of widows, you are coming together and you are crying in the same voice and in one of the languages, which I usually don't want to go without talking about it. Where I'm born, ngo agaria hamwe ngo gatigfa. When you come together, that's when you can fight together. And when the church has come to embrace us, we can be able to fight for our plight, for our justice, to ensure that we are able to be economically empowered. Despite anything they can take from us, we can gain it through praying to the Lord, our husband. You have heard that, Chiravo? That if we cry to the Lord, what Reverend Paul Walter has said, that He can fight for us. But He can't fight for you when you are in the shrine. He will fight. He is a God of jealous. If you go out of Him, He will leave you and you will come back. But He will look for you, you are a lost sheep. And when we come together, so I call upon them and everyone that let's come together, let's come and listen to the word of the Lord, and we will be blessed.
Well, thank you very much. Ruth, now, Reverend, your final remark.
As I mentioned earlier on, nobody signs up to be a widow. And I want to encourage every widow who is outside there. You know, a lot of stigma has been outside there on the widows, and some of them along the way have lost their identity. They have lost, courage. But I want to invite them to come up. It is not an issue of shame. It is, you don't need to feel left behind. So I want to encourage them to join Ruth Ministry. That is now being formed in different churches, so that together, when you come together, we learn from one another. through the different testimonies that we share, we become encouraged. And mind you, it is in the Lord that we live, we move, and have our being. You might have lost your husband. God says he is the husband to the widows. But he cannot be a husband, an absent husband in your life. There are people who are married, but it's like they are not a couple. They are living apart from each other, and it is not good. But God desires to walk the journey with us. But we need to come to him, open up to him and allow him, give him space in our lives. So I want to encourage every widow outside there to yield to God first of all, but then to join the Ruth ministry so that they can be empowered as they share ideas together. You will find that you have, the things that have been disturbing you, the stress, the depression will leave, because you are now within a fellowship that is healthy, and the things that you share build not only your physical life, but your spiritual, emotional life. Every aspect of your life is catered for. So I want to encourage all the widows to belong to the Ruth ministry, but also I want to call upon every church leader. Please, let's take this issue seriously and make sure that we create programs that cater for the widows in our communities. If you are a man outside there or a leader who has been taking advantage of widows, the Lord is saying today, let that come to an end, and instead we support them. Thank you so very much.
Well, thank you so much, Reverend Walter Aponyu, the priest of All Saints Cathedral, Kampala. Thank you so much for your time and standing for the plight of widows. And of course, Ruth, thank you so very much. And by the grace of God, have been their host this morning. Thank you so much for being with us all the way till now. From 6:30 you've been watching UBC TV. We don't take you for granted. Now it is very important to note that God hears and listens to the tears of widows and orphans.
Amen.
May the good Lord bless you. See you tomorrow, God willing.